Hey kids, and welcome to another episode of Learn BMX Racing. This episode is a review of Antelope Valley BMX track. Now, this track actually holds a special place in my heart because this is the very first BMX track that I ever rode, okay? And now we've got the darn thing going, so let's pause it. This track is a very special track to me because this is actually the very first track that I ever rode. When I decided I want to start racing BMX, this is where I came. So let's take a general overview of where the track is located and the features of the track and all that sort of thing, and I'll start to show you where I started racing BMX myself.
See this? Sheriff Jedediah Speed's catalog of netherworld monstrosities. Well, that there is my 6th novel. Why am I bringing this up? Why am I pimping my book in a review of a BMX track? Because the kids in the story actually race BMX, and there is a scene where they actually meet one of their friends in their circle at Antelope Valley BMX track. Pretty cool, huh? So, if you want to meet friends in the real world, here is where the track is at. Of course, the easiest way to find a BMX track is to come here to Learn BMX Racing and go to BMX Racetracks and click on the map of United States BMX tracks. And that will pop up this page, which will give you a map of every single track there is. Now, if this is a little too small for you to navigate, you can always click up here to view larger map, and that will take you to this full screen version. Come over here. All the tracks are in alphabetical order, so if we're looking for Antelope Valley, we just double click on that and takes us right to the section of the map where Antelope Valley appears in Lancaster, California, just north of Los Angeles. You can also, of course, do this through Google Earth. You can load up the KML file that is available on Learn BMX Racing, and you can double click here on Antelope Valley. And again, that zooms in to the location. So all BMX tracks, well, not all of them, but a lot of BMX tracks tend to be in very odd locations. Like they're in a park, but they're like tucked away in some weird corner that's hard to find. So Antelope Valley is no different. This that you're looking at right here is Antelope Valley Fairgrounds, okay? And the BMX track, as you can see, is located off in this kind of corner over here. So you have the 14 highway right here, which is going north and south. And then here you have Avenue H, okay? So you would get off at Avenue H and you'd come to this intersection, which is 23rd Street West and Avenue H. And you drive up this way and you can see the road kind of curves over here. And then here is a parking lot. Right, it ends in this parking lot, and you can park there, or you can park right in here instead. So there are 2 gates that lead into the BMX track. One gate is right here in this spot, and one is right over here. So that's why you can park in either location. So to give you an idea of what it looks like when you come up to this intersection, let's take a look here at the street view. So now we are looking towards the east, so the 14 highway is over there. The BMX track is right back in here. You can see this little red building here. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. I meant to zoom in. If we zoom in a bit, you could see this red building right here. That's the clubhouse of the BMX track, okay? So all you got to do is come to this intersection right here, and you would make a right onto this street, the 25th Street West, and you'd head up this way, and the track is in that back corner. So there you go. Now you know exactly how to get to Antelope Valley BMX.
Right, so here is a shot of the clubhouse. And right in the center there, you can see the steps leading up to the porch. And on the right-hand side is the window where you pay your fee to practice and race for the day.
There's some really cool memorabilia inside the clubhouse. Like right here, there's this poster signed by Mike Day. Here is a little article on a local girl rider named Ronnie. And here is an article talking about the new owners taking over the track. And most BMX tracks will have some kind of little memory wall or a bit of memorabilia that they have inside. For those of you who don't know, Mike Day is actually the very first American to win a silver medal in BMX in the Olympics. So here's a few more articles about like a state race that was done there, and another signed poster from Danny George. So there's just some cool stuff that you can check out inside the clubhouse. In this footage right here, you can see the clubhouse right over there on the right-hand side. Now, what we're going to do through this shot is this is going to be a full lap of the track. So you come around the back end right here, and right here you can see the staging area with our 10 staging lanes. And we come up to the top, and here we have the starting gate. So this is an overview of the track, and then we come out of the starting gate, and we're coming up the first straight, little step up jump there, another little step up, and it comes down into the first turn. And then as we circle back into the second straightaway, we're coming up to another little step up. Right here is a tabletop, and then here is another little tabletop with a jump at the end into the second berm, which is where the observation deck is. Now we're coming down into the third straight. This is the first rhythm section. It's a pretty tight rhythm section. It's a lot of fun. And then we circle into the third turn, and we come into the second rhythm section, which I think is really cool because most tracks don't have two rhythm sections. So this here, fourth turn, wraps around, little jump up, another kind of little step up into the last turn, and then one more tabletop, and we cross the finish line. Now as we come down this straight, I'll show you how we circle back to get back on the track again. So right there, straight ahead, you can see the clubhouse again. And we come over here to the left, and we are right back where we started. For those of you who may be wondering, we can figure out the actual length of the track. We can see right here is the start gate. So let's just do measure distance and figure out how long it is. Now, of course, this isn't going to be exact because, you could take the inside of a turn or you can take the outside of a turn, and that's going to make the overall distance a little bit different, but it at least does give you a good general idea. So here we go through the rhythm section. Here we're into turn 3. Here's the back rhythm section. Here is turn 4. Here is the next straightaway, turn 5, and the finish line is right here. So we can see that the track is approximately 1,128 feet long. Again, that's, give or take depending upon what kind of a line you actually take on your lap. See this? This is the kind of place I raced BMX growing up as a kid in Ohio. We couldn't afford to race at a real track, so we just made do with crazy paths in the woods. Now, Antelope Valley is a bit of an old school BMX track. It's rough, it's rugged, it's chunky. Not every transition is perfect, and some riders who are accustomed to meticulously groomed tracks, like the Princess and the Pea, may complain about the haggard nature of the surface. But where I come from, this track is like Disneyland. Personally, I love the rough and tumble persona of Antelope Valley. It makes each lap a challenge, and I think, especially for beginners, it teaches you to be a better rider. In many ways, it's an ideal training facility for beginners. See, typically, there aren't big crowds at this track, so if you're new to the sport and feeling a little shy or intimidated, it's the perfect place to develop your skill without being in front of a huge audience of spectators and riders. In fact, my very first day of riding at the track was at a training clinic with Rich and Danica Anderson. A few highlights of my favorite parts of the track right here at the beginning. The starting gate, the starting hill is really cool because it's not too big, it's not too steep, so it's really great for beginners. I also love this right here. There's a little jump heading into the first turn, and the thing that makes that really cool is it's one of the only jumps that you can learn how to land going downhill. Another thing that I really, really enjoy is this rhythm section. When I first went to a BMX track, I was worried that it would be really difficult to learn how to jump and get air. Turns out it's exactly the opposite. It's very hard to stay on the ground, and that rhythm section taught me that. I also really like this back section, these back last two straights. I don't know why, but they just have like a cool vibe to them. Remember I said it's like Disneyland? Well, there's something about that back section that feels like you're on the quiet part of the ride, you know? It's just sort of relaxing and calm, and it's nice and quiet and shaded. I just kind of like that area of the track. You know, the whole thing has this great kind of rugged feel to it. It's like if Kelly Leak from the Bad News Bears invited you to a BMX track, this is where he'd bring you. Now, unlike the juvenile delinquent image of Kelly Leaks, BMX is very much a wholesome and positive, family-oriented sport. And in keeping with that sentiment, I'd like to introduce you to the Trejo family, who run AV BMX.
Hello everyone, my name is Edgar Trejo and I'm the track operator here at AV BMX.
My name is Kristen Trejo. I'm the track operator at Antelope Valley BMX.
Hi, I'm Nick Trejo. I ride for SE Bikes.
Hey, I'm Andrew Trejo and I also ride for SE Bikes.
So this track was built in 2006 and by Jerome Ferree, and at the time his family was operating it and his kids were racing as well. His daughter Carly actually was raced until she became a pro. What's been really cool is seeing my boys who race kind of following in the same footsteps and improving on the track that they built and that they put their time into.
What inspired me to start the track, truthfully, it was the track was closing down and my family, my kids had fallen in love with BMX, and there was no way we were going to let it shut down. So we decided to take on the adventure and go for it.
We started traveling outside of the valley to practice. All of the tracks are about an hour and a half away, and we were traveling several times a week there, and it was a big commitment on our part, and so we kind of started looking at what it would take to take over this track, and the previous track operator was very receptive to that. He didn't want to have to demolish the track and flatten it, which was what was going to have to happen. He had already put in a lot of work for it. And so, yeah, we just jumped in. It was never something we ever even considered doing prior to that, but we saw a need and we wanted to invest our time and money into our community instead of leaving and taking our money elsewhere. So that's kind of how it all started.
What do I love most about running the track? Well, I get to see not only just my kids, but other kids improve in all different types of skills. So I get to be a part of it, and I get to be connected to watching kids grow. So I think that would be what I love most about it.
I would have to say what I enjoy most about operating the track is getting to see the families spend time together, getting to see the kids gain some confidence in their abilities, and also just the friendships that they make over the years have been really special.
I think what I like most about this track is the length, because when I go to other tracks it really helps my endurance for the race.
What I really like about this track is just the variety of jumps. You got bigger jumps and then you just got your technical section. And yeah, it's just fun learning new stuff because there's a lot of different lines on this track.
The reason I feel that BMX is a sport that draws a lot of people to is the simple idea that we all fell in love with riding a bike at some point. Something about being here at the track, being around kids who want to improve all kinds of bike skills. It's something that draws people from everywhere, and I don't think it's going to stop.
My favorite memories from the track would probably be just of helping out the youngsters out here.
Well, my favorite memories is just like first time I jumped the biggest, like one of the biggest jumps here. Just like how happy I was that I finally did it. Yeah.
The one thing I want anyone who's wanting to try this out or who's curious about BMX is that you don't have to be a particular age or have a certain level of bike skills. You just really want to, all you really need is to have the desire to come out here and try it. We have riders from as young as 3 all the way to 60, so age is really not an issue. A lot of times people think that you have to jump or have some kind of level of skill of that nature, but all you really have to do is just want to pedal, and you can keep the wheels on the ground, and that's what we recommend anyway. So that's just something I want people to know, that it's just really for everyone, not just those extreme riders out there. It's really for everyone.
I'd say the thing I wish that the track had the most was more riders. It's just hard to train with the lack of riders we have.
I wish that the track just had more volunteers, because as of right now, it's kind of just low. My parents and a few helpers working on this massive track. So.
If I could say one thing about BMX that people may or may not know, it would be that most tracks that you visit, most local tracks, are run entirely by volunteers, people who just have a love for the sport and for their community and for keeping kids on bikes. And so we can never have too many volunteers. That's really where we thrive. It takes a lot of time to maintain the track and to prepare for lots of visitors. And so the track operators and the other volunteers there always welcome your help, and they want you to feel a part of the community. And volunteering is a great way to do that.
The Trejo family puts a huge amount of work and effort into maintaining this track. But there is no way a family of 4 can adequately care for a facility this large all by themselves. That is why I try to help when I can. When they are out there for 8 hours on a Saturday, I can't devote that much time. But I can stop by for an hour or 2. I can pick up a broom for 10 minutes on a race night. And if all the parents who attend the track offered a few minutes of their time, it would improve the facility immensely. Antelope Valley is a lot like the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. It just needs a little love. So I invite everyone to come on out and show a little love to the track. Lend a hand. Even if you just pick up a broom and sweep one turn, I know the kids would appreciate it. Because ultimately, that is what this is all about. Making it a great track where the children and childlike adults can have a fantastic time. Here we have a summary of all the information that you need to know about Antelope Valley BMX. Now, remember that the time that a BMX track is open can always vary, since it is run by volunteers. So the track might be open more frequently than their typical schedule, or it might be open less. That's why you need to make sure you always check social media or just give the track operators a call and find out whether or not they are actually open on that day. And it always helps to check to see if they might have a special event going on over the weekend.
Well, thank you so much for watching this episode of Learn BMX Racing, and I hope that now that you've seen Antelope Valley BMX, maybe some of you folks watching this will actually come out here someday and maybe we'll get to race together. And remember, kids, your good old days are happening right now.